No problem.
All right.
Thank you much.
I think I'm recording. Yeah, I'm recording.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to focus on these numbers, your expense numbers first, because we want to make sure that we know what revenue we have to achieve in order to hit your expense, what I like to call goals.
Yeah.
All right, because these are obviously, some of these are ones that you have to have for the business, but
Right.
some of them are going to be personal as well.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
right. So, for example, owner pay 8150. That's great. So that's what you need to take out of the business every month to survive from a home front, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Are there no bank charges? So when people are paying you, how do they pay you?
They're doing through, well, they've been using credit card. So it's either, there's only been one person on check, but for the most part, it's through the credit card. So there's definitely some type of
PayPal?
credit card fee.
Is it PayPal?
No, she's using some type of merchant account. I remember we talked about this before. It's like 3 point something or a high two. Like it's really a brutal. I know
Okay.
we talked about it before.
So we need to make sure we put those bank charges in here.
Yeah.
All right, so she should be able to look at the last couple of months to see what the average is. My guess is it's going to be probably around 400 in bank charges.
Okay.
Okay, but we can do that just based on a percentage of what your revenue is. Now, did I tell you to consider something called Pay Simple?
Pay simple? Mm.
Yeah, you might want to look at Pay Simple, paysimple.com. They charge $39 a month, and the fee is like 2 point something. It's pretty reasonable. It's very comparable to PayPal,
Yeah.
but it's very much easier to use. You can set up recurring payments. They give you a dashboard. It's really simple to use. That's what I use.
Okay, cool.
All right. Okay, and then we have computer, internet. I'm guessing that's what your Zoom incorporates.
Yeah.
Zoom is okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming
Legal licenses and permits are really $1,000 a month.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to find out from her what she meant by that. Because some of the stuff when I started looking at it, I'm like wondering some of it of like, is it inside of what we had with our regular business stuff? So that was confusing one to me too.
Okay, all right.
'Cause I don't know if she means by that license if that's the 1,000 a month that's for MP for the MPA.
Could be okay. All right, good. What is your credit card balance right now?
So I know on one of the cards, I think it's on the personal one. Did you see the other one? Like I put it.
Oh, there's a personal balance sheet here too.
Yeah, if you keep moving it over, well, it should have been over there.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yep, there we go.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So your credit card is a personal card, not a business card.
Yeah, the business card is which one? Move up there a little bit. The American Express. The Spark. Spark is a business.
That's a business. Okay. So the Spark should come off of the personal,
Okay.
and let's put it here as the business.
Okay.
Okay, because it's a business expense. You want to use business dollars to pay it off. So was that the balance then? The balance is
Yep.
1885.
Yep.
Okay, and you just want to pay off 150 a month.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Honestly, if see this remaining number down here, the 57.
Yep.
I just pay the whole thing off.
Cool. Yeah, that's what some of the stuff that now we're realizing, especially after reading Profit First,
Okay.
is that taking care of it. It was, as she set it up, it was kind of before the whole, because she just finally finished reading it too. So we're all on the same page of wanting to follow that.
Good. All
We're
right.
even looking into now getting more of an accountant that understands it. Like, so we're kind of like up in the air because we really like our accountant, but we want to make sure we really like what this Profit First thing is. So looking into somebody that practices it, that's something also we're looking into now.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. So let's update that. So just pay that sucker off. I'm hoping what you do is that all of these expenses go on the Spark card.
Yeah.
And you just pay the Spark card off every month.
Okay. Gotcha.
You might as well get the points, right?
Yeah.
So any type of, like marketing or meals and office, telephone, anything expense-wise that's on this sheet
Yeah.
put it on the Spark card, and then just pay the Spark card off each month.
Cool.
All right. So what you won't really see a entry here for the Spark card unless you're carrying a balance.
Right. Okay.
That make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now, have you figured out what your tax bill might look like?
That's what we're starting to get figured out now with the accountant.
Okay.
I know he's been working on that.
Okay, so let's figure out the tax bill, and then we need to enter the tax amount that you need monthly to save to pay for quarterly taxes.
Yeah.
Right? And that'll go here.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of business savings, because I think, did your personal budget include a savings amount?
I don't think so.
Nope, it doesn't. Okay. All right. So in terms of savings, first from a business savings, let's talk about that. How much savings do you have in a business account right now?
So right now, in a business account, separated?
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything separated. I think personal savings we have. I know there's definitely something. I know we've got personal. I don't think we have anything business. We don't have that account set up yet.
Okay. So we want to set up a separate business savings account. Mm-hmm. And in that business account, we want to generate or accumulate up to $30,000, 3 months of expenses at least. 6 is better, but we want to start with 3 months of expenses. Okay. Mm-hmm. So your expenses, including your pay, is around $10,000. So the goal is to get that business savings account to 30 grand, at least 30 grand. So we want to enter a number here that, right now looks to me like you could afford $2,500 a month to go into your business savings account.
Cool.
Okay. And then the other thing is, of course, personally, what do you want to include into your personal savings account? So the things that you want to consider from a personal standpoint: vacations, cars, homes, right, college, all those things should be incorporated onto this sheet right here.
Yeah.
And so what does the personal savings account need to be each month? And add that to your owner pay.
Cool.
So if the owner pay needs to be 10 grand to include, additions to your personal savings, make the owner pay 10 grand.
Okay.
All right. So let's go through and make those adjustments. All right. Don't worry about what this remaining number looks like at this point. I want you to just make sure you've included everything from an expense standpoint.
Right.
Now remember, I'm including your savings, your tax, your credit card payout as expense, because that's how I want you to think about it. It's a must-have in your business. It's not if we have money left over, we're going to put it in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So whatever this number ends up being down here, we want it to be 0. That's perfect. If there's money left over, that means we can dump more into savings.
Okay, cool.
All right. If it's negative, all right, so let's say we do all of those changes, and we end up, with a negative $1,500. All that means is that you got to bust your butt and generate more new sales.
Right, exactly.
Right now, your new sales are at 0. So you're fine based on existing revenue.
Right.
But we want to be better than fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So whatever this ends up being, negative ends up being the goal for new sales. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're kind of backing in. A lot of times people set intentions and goals, and I want to increase my revenue by 20%, and each month I want to go up by X number of dollars. I don't like to do it that way. I like to do it based on what you specifically need or want in your life on a month-to-month basis. And based on what that is, then we set our sights on the new sales.
Nice. Okay.
Okay. Makes sense?
Yep. Perfect.
All right. So once you're done getting these numbers in line, we'll copy them column by column all the way through the year, because we're set. But the other thing that you're going to want to do is go through and enter the random type expenses. So for like example, in April, you need to pay your MPA, right?
Right.
So we put that as a big expense to pay out the MPA.
Yeah.
Maybe in July you have a trip for the summit. So we want to increase our expenses for travel because you're going to the summit, right? And maybe you're traveling. Did you say you're going to Milwaukee or something?
Yeah, Missouri. Yeah, this week. Yeah.
Missouri. So January travel should be higher because
Right.
you're going to Missouri.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So once we've got the basis, then we're going to add in all the wonky stuff.
Sweet.
And what that means then is that the entire 2016 year is the framework is built out.
Yep.
And all we're going to do then is track it weekly. At the end of January, we're going to review February, make any adjustments we need to, track February weekly. At the end of February, review March, make the adjustments, track it weekly, and so on and so forth.
Exactly, yeah. The roadmap.
All right. So for the next week, let's just get these expenses nailed down based on what we just talked about. Mm-hmm. Copy it over for the entire year, and then add the wonky stuff. I use wonky for lack of a better word. Cool. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So these numbers then in your revenue, recurring revenue, these are sales that you've made.
Yeah.
And they're solid for the next 2 months.
Solid for the next 2 months. Yeah. Then March there's like 1 or 2 that are kind of off, but that's what we're now, heading to Missouri, obviously. So like now I'm trying to figure out because it is starting to hit that point of now I've got 16 kids that are on board now with the personal programming. The 180 stuff's easy. That's always going to be easy to manage. It's getting more kids because like what I'm trying to figure out now is how to set it up where ultimately all the kids that are on the 360 or transformation are eventually going to get worked into the 180. Yeah. So the 180 becomes like its own, whatever it is, 20 kids, that becomes a piece of cake because it's like a once a week check-in, all that stuff. And then the rest of the kids continues on with the 360 and transformation and figuring out how to manage that. So I'm always looking at, so what I'm starting to look at is that I'm thinking potential-wise then I'm looking at 16 to 20 kids inside of 360 or transformation. And then, the other, whatever it is, 18 to 20 inside the 180 is the idea.
All right. And so are these all your kids right now?
Yep.
This is updated.
Updated, yep.
Okay. We need to, we just need to total all these numbers. So let's just put a total revenue in here, and let's say equal C 14 plus C 29 plus C 41. So you can get what your total revenue is for each month, and then copy that. Copy that across, because that's how you'll know what number to put on this budget sheet.
Yeah.
Actually, you already know, but you can then track and make sure. That's why we didn't do it, because we just broke it out. Okay, never mind. But now at least you can see the total that you'll get each month.
Yeah, okay. From Bloodline anyway. It's coming.
Yeah. So one thing then, Vince, based on what you just said, that we need to consider. So these are all like private, right?
Those, yeah, all of them basically.
They're all group.
No, those are all private. Yeah, I haven't gotten into the group stuff yet. That's what I was considering doing with this new team because I'm looking at it as, guys, the way the season is, I don't think it'd be wise to sell them on individual basis. I think it probably makes sense to because what if like 6 or 7 kids want the individual and I really don't have room for 6 or 7 more individuals?
Yes.
But as a group, I could definitely.
That's what. Let's talk about that. What you just said. We don't want to have you hit a threshold.
Right.
Right. We don't want there to be a cap on your earning potential.
Yeah.
So think about ways that you can set this up so that it doesn't cap your earning potential.
Yeah.
Right. So I think maybe doing 180 as a group, maybe it's, how often are you talking to them? Is it once a week?
Once a week. Yeah.
So, and it's 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on, which kid.
Okay. Maybe you can set that up, that those once a week privates more in small groups. So 4 at a time.
Yeah.
I would imagine that you can get through 4 in a group in 30 minutes, 10 minutes per kid or whatever.
Right.
And then, these are the more private, the more labor intensive. So we need to figure out the best way to get these folks fulfilled without capping your time.
Right.
Because the last thing you want is for you to just say, I'm booked, I can't take any more people, which actually isn't a bad thing, because then all you have to do is raise your rates.
Right.
But consider ways to maximize your time, okay? But also consider, going back to this budget, maybe come April or June or July, it's time to bring staff on board.
Right.
And maybe what you can do is bring people on board that can supplement your training for the kids.
Yeah, it's already in the works. I've got one kid that I'm talking to. We're meeting next Monday, and then I've got one of my former players as well. Actually, they're both former players, so it's funny. But yeah, they're both into the whole thing. So that's what we're looking now to start bringing guys on for sure.
Okay, good. So then what you're going to want to do on this budget, we need to add a payroll line, which you have here. But you want to incorporate, because this is a forecast thing. So
right.
Incorporate, maybe it's in June.
Yeah.
That you're going to start paying a person $20 a session or whatever you decide.
Right.
So you can use this to mess around to see how that's going to affect your bottom line.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, good. Why did I get into all of that? Oh, because I wanted to see what this looked like. So you're pretty healthy through March. So What you can do is so at the end of January, you're going to go into here, look at what your February numbers are, and load them into the budget sheet.
Right.
For February. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Okay, awesome. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to quickly go over these autoresponders.
Cool.
Okay, so a couple general comments. First of all, they need to come from you.
Yeah.
All right, don't have them from Marissa. Have them come from you, and that's fine. So 3 things to make sure that you incorporate into these autoresponders: urgency, all right, scarcity, and a strong call to action. Tell people what to do. Always tell them what to do. So the first one is great. Thank you for your interest in wanting to speak with me. Okay, make it from you.
Yeah.
Please use the link below. But you want to make sure that, you add some verbiage about the value they're getting.
Right.
All right, some of the benefits. Does not necessarily features, but benefits.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're still engaged. And then always put a PS, that reiterates the call to action and gives it some scarcity. Click the link now. Spots fill up fast, and we want to connect with you soon.
Cool.
Okay. The second one, she's trying to be really nice, and that's fine, but you also want to light a fire under people's butts.
Right.
So I just added, we haven't heard from you yet, and I just wanted to send you a friendly reminder.
Cool.
Okay. This looks fine, but I would add the same kind of PS.
Right.
Okay. And then we get into email number 3. Again, these are just reminding folks to do the consult. So that's what you have here is fine. There's not a huge amount of changes I would make. But when you get to the report, and this is kind of where I dropped off with my comments, when you get to this report piece, this is where you want to make sure that you incorporate more of the features and benefits that folks will get from your program.
Right.
and give them a stronger call to action and urgency to schedule the consultation.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you for requesting our report. It's going into a complimentary video series. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, it's basically setting up as like a video series, pretty much. Like I'll talk about, so I'm just going to talk about thought management, play management, time management.
Okay. All right. So I just added this in red. Schedule the free consult with me. Again, make it from you today. Click here to schedule your appointment. Now, in email 2, 3, and 4, add more social proof.
Okay.
All right, so make it a little bit, it needs to be more than a paragraph. So this first paragraph is great. Video 2 addresses the number one concern hockey parents share with me. I hope you found it useful, but I would actually insert before that sentence, how you've worked with a kid on his mindset and how it did transform his game.
Nice. Okay.
All right, give an example of the testimonial or social proof of somebody that has achieved success.
Right.
All right, that's what sells, social proof.
Yeah.
And the same thing on email number 3, understanding their role on the team. Build upon that some more in the email. Again, some story, maybe your own story about how you understood your role on the team. You just rocked.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to give them something more to relate to in these emails, something that they can grab onto and say, oh yeah, I want that too.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the same thing on email number 4. So this one you might want to change a little bit. Is this more about navigating the world of hockey? Is there something that you can pinpoint on this one to make it a little bit more specific, like maybe achieving a scholarship, or maybe it's just talk about getting to that next level?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's more about like getting to that next level.
All right. So let's reword this one about, getting to the next level in the world of hockey, whether it is a youth, junior, college, can be difficult, confusing, and stressful. And then having a set game plan is what you want to focus on here.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you do to establish a game plan? And how have you been successful with other kids in establishing their game plan, and what have their results been?
Nice.
Okay. So I'm not making comments here because it's all being recorded. I'm not making notes because it's all being recorded.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. And then always, like I said, always add the PS. Make sure that you put this urgency and scarcity. Coach Vinny's getting busy. Folks are signing up. New Year's is here. Folks are scheduling. You want to get in now. Don't miss out.
Right.
Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. All right. So let's focus this coming week on you're going to Missouri this weekend?
This week.
This week?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Oh, cool. Okay. Are you all set with that?
That's what I wanted to show you was where I was going with it, just to get quick thoughts and all that stuff. So this was kind of like the idea.
Can I stop this share?
Yeah.
Okay. It might stop the recording too. No, we're still recording.
Okay. All right, cool. So here's some of the stuff. Where are we at? So the way I was going to kind of go about it was sticking to the theme of, thought management, play management, time management, all that stuff. So this is kind of, so what I had this was the original one, actually. You see this one?
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to start with who I am. So I'm trying to make it more, I'm starting to study a lot more about visual science. And that's kind of like this year. It's all about understanding way more about visual science is really what I want to dive into. Because I feel like mindset, I know how important it is, but ultimately there's a whole nother language that I know is very, what is it? What's the one stat you gave me, the 400% more?
Yeah, visual retention.
The retention rate, right? Yes. So now this year I just want to learn the language of visual. Like I just want to learn it because I'm like, that's really where it's at. So a lot of the stuff is based around. So I'm going to kind of go around with the kids of like made in Italy, born in Philly, start to make them kind of laugh. So I was going to figure, jump in with this type of stuff on that end.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Then get into my 3 biggest influences, talk to them about that. Again, I get all that stuff. And then I didn't really get too far, but then what do I really have control over? And then I was going to get into, so I love the Jim Rohn, you're the average of the 5 people you spend time with. So I was going to throw it back at them with the Wheel of Fortune thing that I have. So change people to energies. So you are the average of the 5 energies you spend the most time with. So I was going to talk about their eating habits, sleeping habits, study skills, what their development skills, what they practice, and then relationships.
You know what? You don't really need to change your Changemaker presentation much.
Okay.
You can use that Changemaker presentation as your presentation for these guys.
Okay.
No reason why not. It's got everything you need in there, right? It gives them the features and the benefits. It gives them your methodology. It shows them what success stories you have. I would include some of the more about you type stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't get into the pricing, obviously, and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But you can absolutely just take that Changemaker presentation, tweak it a little bit, and use that for every single presentation that you do.
Gotcha. Okay. Cause that's what I was going to ask. Cause I've got I'm going to have 4, it looks like 4 sessions going with them.
Yeah.
So
seriously,
okay.
That is the foundation of the presentation that you want to do. Now, what you can do is just go in and tweak it based on your audience.
Yeah.
Right. But absolutely, it's the foundation for everything that you do.
Nice. Okay. So this was what I was kind of thinking then with thought, but yeah, I'll definitely go off of that. But I wanted to give them nuggets. So one of the things we did was I picked up notebooks for them, like a little notebook. So I'm going to give them a notebook pen and say, keep this journal. It's basically as your journal. And then we're just going to start to go over this type of stuff, the conscious versus unconscious.
Beautiful.
Dynamic. Talk about that.
Beautiful. When do you go?
Wednesday.
You go. Oh, so we won't see you in our call on Wednesday.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
Unless I get in there. And then what do you think of this instant assessment? What are your thoughts on this? So which feels easier? Think about something negative and get angry, or think about something positive and get happy? I think it kind of gives you, so that you're like, if I think about something negative right now, can I get myself angry? Versus if I think about something positive, will I feel myself happy?
Well,
I almost think it's an unconscious assessment.
It is, but it also depends on the person. Are they motivated by anger, or are they motivated by happiness?
Well, I guess that's the point too that I want to kind of get them back to, is the whole anger part, is where if you're into the angry aspect of things, your mind isn't clear to get the job done of what you need to, like from what we know about perspective on that end.
Right.
So that's kind of what leading that back into is that. So if knowledge is power, then, Temenos is going to know thyself, see if they know that, and then move into the GPS for choice. I'm trying to figure out, word out, and finish it off like that for the thought stuff. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure I understand the question, Vince.
The instant assessment.
Oh, instant assessment is perfect. Absolutely. You want to show as best you can, show a weak link to folks. Show them that that's why we do, in a gym situation, we do a free assessment, right? So we can show folks where their weaknesses are and give them a plan to achieve success with from those weaknesses. I think instant assessment is perfect. Absolutely great. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, because it's something that I figured it's right away going to make them go into their unconscious and make them go, huh, that's weird.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, because there are going to be kids in there that are going to be like, yeah, I can feel happy because, yeah, that's their nature. That's the way they are.
No, I think that's great. Give people something to really latch onto, to know that they can make a difference, and that's half the battle, getting them sold.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got to run.
Okay,
if you want to send me your final presentation, do so. I will get this recording downloaded and send it over to you so you have it.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.